India's car manufacturing industry stands at a thrilling crossroads. Traditionally known for producing affordable, fuel-efficient vehicles, the country is now embracing electric vehicles or EV with accelerating momentum. In the first half of 2025 alone, over 70,000 electric cars were sold, marking an impressive 100% year-on-year growth. This shift mirrors the global transformation underway as automakers worldwide pivot to EVs. Even industry icons like the Ford Motor Company are reimagining how cars are built, scrapping their century-old moving assembly line in favor of an innovative assembly tree approach where three parallel assembly lines converge into final assembly. The message is clear: the old ways giving way to the next generation of EV manufacturing. Hello and welcome to Logistically Speaking, your go-to podcast exploring the game-changing trends reshaping logistics and business worldwide. Today, we are breaking down India's electric vehicle revolution by examining China's spectacular EV rise to understand where India EV path is headed next. While EV comprises just over 4% market share of total car sales in May 2025, the pace of growth is unmistakably rapid. Leading the changes are Tata Motors, JSW, MG Motors, which surged 149% in sales in May 2025, capturing 31% market share just behind Tata's 38% and Mahindra. The landscape is getting more competitive and innovative with new entrants like Yakuza, which has launched ultra-affordable EVs, and upcoming players such as Provide and EKA Mobility. There's even buzz around Reliance making a move into EV car manufacturing, adding to the segment's interest among startups. In urban hub like Delhi to Bangalore, the shift is visible. Ola and Uber's electric fleets are becoming common sights, while more families are now choosing EVs for their everyday drives. To understand what India can achieve, we must look east. China's electric vehicle revolution is nothing short of meteoric, with over 300 plus EV companies in operation. Most fade away, but giants like BYD, SAIC, Great Wall, Xiaomi and Zeekr has defined the landscape, with BYD evolving from a battery supplier into a global EV powerhouse, at times outselling even Tesla. Now, what fueled China's dominance? Massive government incentive totaling billions and strict EV mandate, consumer subsidies and a strategic investment in charging infrastructure. But perhaps more importantly, China nurtured a fiercely competitive ecosystem where hundreds of startups warring for survival pushed innovation, slashed costs and accelerated local supply chain development for batteries, motors and semiconductors. Crucially, China's strong export policies have expanded its EV footprint well beyond domestic roads into Europe, Southeast Asia and Latin America. Despite rapid growth, EVs accounted for just about 7.7% penetration of total vehicle sales in India by 2024 compared to the global average of 16.5%. India's current EV manufacturing base is smaller with fewer passenger EV makers. But the ground is shifting. The government's production-linked incentive scheme, lower GST rate on EVs and battery manufacturing subsidies have begun opening the doors. JSW's entry is just the start, and global giants like Hyundai and Suzuki are primed to accelerate production here. Yet challenges remain. For example, complex regulations, high import duties on key components and underdeveloped local supply chains have limited the explosion of new EV startups that China enjoys. India's opportunity lies in its large urban population, growing environmental awareness and rising fuel prices, all driving EV demand. Our government's initiatives are focused on fueling this growth. Public and private investment in charging infrastructure is scaling fast with thousands of new charging points opening nationwide. All focus on the goal of reaching EV segment to command 30% of total vehicle sales by 2030. However, battery cells production is still new. The skilled workforce for complex EV technologies is developing, and reliable clean grid power availability for charging remains a challenge. To excel, India needs holistic ecosystem approach, not just assembling cars, but developing batteries, semiconductors, electronics, and raw material sourcing. The government and private sector should encourage the birth of hundreds of startups applying market forces to find future champions. Aggressive R&D incentive coupled with export-focused policies can position India as a trustworthy and innovative alternate to China in global market. Rapid expansion of charging network, battery recycling programs, and infrastructure investment must remain the front and the center. To summarize, India's electronic vehicle revolution is just revving up. The journey is far from smooth, but the race has begun. Like China did, India can leverage policy, entrepreneurship, and partnership to transform the industry from a niche venture into a global force. Imagine a future where Indian EVs zip through not only our cities, but also the streets of Africa, Southeast Asia, and beyond, where companies today like JSW, Tata, and others become household names worldwide, and India crafts not just vehicles but technologies and supply chains that power the globe. Let me leave you with some interesting stats. JSW's rapid sales growth, that is 149% year over year in May 2025, places it as the second largest electric car seller in India right now, and closely behind Tata at 31%. India sold over 2 million EVs in financial year 24-25, which include buses, cars, three-wheelers and two-wheelers, a figure that almost tripled from just a few years ago. The future is electric, and India has just getting started. It's time to drive it forward together. If you found this episode on India's electric vehicle revolution informative, hit that like button, share this video with your friends and industry peers. Tell me in the comments, which Indian EV company do you think can become a global player? Don't forget to subscribe to more episodes of Logistically Speaking, where we keep you ahead of the curve on the world's most exciting logistic and business transformation. Thank you.